So you want to ensure that they don't feel like you've applied. So you're like, okay, I'm interested in working at this company. And I saw that you happen to work there for X number of time. I'm wondering, can you give me some heads up on what I can expect from this company in terms of, let's say, how the CEO approached matters, approached issues and stuff like that, like teammates? Can you just give me some background about the company? Is it a good place that you would recommend that I work in? And then full stop. Just allow the person to give you feedback. So once the person gives you feedback, if the feedback is good, of course, you can go ahead to apply. If the feedback isn't good, I think it is safer to just
run.
Yeah, it is safer to just put on your Usain Bolt boots and then just disappear. I mean, there are lots of other companies out there, so you don't need to go to a company where you're always frowning when you want to work.
So hi everyone, you're welcome to Tech Stories and Whatnot, where I share insightful stories on founders, content marketers, tech products, and we talk about content marketing. So today I'm joined by the amazing Precious Oboidhe. Please correct me if I'm wrong anyways. So I'm joined by Precious Oboidhe, a content marketing specialist at Foundation Marketing. And yeah, thank you very much, Precious, for joining me.
Yeah, thank you. My pleasure.
Okay, so aside Precious being a content marketing specialist, he's also a newly married man. So I want to find out how that is going. So how is that going? How is that going?
It's going very well. It's really fun. It's fun. Yeah.
Okay, so what about your pockets? The whole expenses, is it recovered, fully recovered, or you're still trying to recover from the expenses?
Well, I planned ahead for it, so I'm not having any hiccups financially because I planned.
That's great to hear. That's actually great to hear. So you said he planned ahead of it. So we'll just get into it. Yeah, so I read on LinkedIn, we're talking about freelancing versus in-house content marketing roles and why Precious made the switch. So I read on LinkedIn, Precious, how you talked about how you freelanced for like 4 years before making the decision to get an in-house role. And I'm wondering, in those freelance years, those 4 years of freelancing, were you writing strictly SaaS, or you were doing every other thing like e-coms and the rest? Okay, so before I started specializing in B2B and SaaS and all that, I was writing on Fiverr and I was writing majorly book. So I wasn't really writing SaaS content in those 4 years. I was majorly a ghostwriter, helping authors to write books and stuff like that. So I was writing different kind of blog posts. It could be a parenting blog today, it could be e-commerce, it could be a finance company and stuff like that. So it wasn't really structured because I was working on a platform where anybody with any kind of success can just jump in and they just ask, okay, I need this, can you help me out? And then I'll look at it, if I can do it, why not? I jump on it, I get the job done, and that's it. So it was when I jumped on LinkedIn, that was when I started nicking down and I learned about that and I started getting into it and stuff like that. Okay, let's be real here. There's some people that just go into the SaaS industry because, well, there's money in there, and there's some people that just fall in love with it. So which was yours? What made you start writing for SaaS? I think what made me interested at first was I first read a piece where someone was talking about like this is where the money is, SaaS is where the money is, and then I'm wondering because I didn't know anything about that. And I was even opposed to that quote, and I said something like, follow, you don't need to follow the crowd and stuff like that. So as time went on, I was like, nothing is going on here. So when I kept seeing the kind of rates people were offering, and I saw that most of it was leaning towards SaaS, I was like, okay, maybe the money is actually, I should start going into this place. So that was when I started trying to get through it and find try to dip my feet in the water of start and get in.
Nice. Thanks for actually being very real and honest about it. Yeah, so I've noticed this pattern where you see freelancers wanting to get in-house roles, and content marketers who are already in-house are jumping out and they're like, no, I want to go into freelancing. So why do you think that is so? What are the challenges as a freelancer? Because you've worn both shoes. You've been in the freelance, you've been in the, what I call it, trenches. So everybody's afraid of the content bills, Upwork and whatnot. So why do you think this is so? Why are people wanting to get into in-house roles and the others are jumping back to freelance? Before we now talk about why you switched to an in-house role.
Okay, I think one of the reasons why people want to get into in-house roles is, number one, the job is steady. You don't need to start hunting for clients every single day. You get a steady stream of work. You have an expectancy at the end of the month or at the end of 2 weeks, depending on how the company pays. So I think those are the two major reasons. Then a third one, which is more on the person's part who is trying to get into maybe a company or anything else, would be, I just want to learn about how this thing is. Like, if you don't get into a house, you don't really know the problems they face. So, and someone is trying to get into, let's say, a fast company or let's say an agency and stuff like that. They just want to know, how is this thing done? What are the challenges that they face, so that they get an idea of, if, let's say, when they go freelance finally, and then the SaaS company approaches them, or an agency approaches them, they understand exactly where this are coming from. When they're talking about revenue, when they're talking about how good your content is, they already understand, like, okay, this is the expectation that my content is supposed to be. This is like, they are not just thinking about the content itself, they'll be thinking about revenue for that particular piece of content. So they want to get inside information on what are these people thinking about. They just want to get into the head of these people. Then I think the reason why people remain freelance, of course, want to be independent, want to have our own team of clients, want to control how everything works with us, want to own our time. That's a very important aspect, because people want to shy away from working 9 to 5, which is not easy.
Yeah.
I think that's the main driver of want to be freelance and want to work in house.
Okay, so thank you for that answer. True, people really want to get into freelancing, because they want to own their time, like you said, while others are jumping into in-house roles because the pay is quite steady. And well, we can't, it's actually amazing to own your own choice at the end of the day. It's depending on where you are. I think it depends on the level you are. For a new writer, it's kind of difficult to just cope with freelancing, being that you have to find your own clients. Maybe you don't even have portfolio also. So for you, what was freelancing for you? Like, what was it like for you? Was this very rosy? Was it all rosy? And eventually, why did you make the switch to an in-house role? So aside the general belief, you may have your own personal reasons for going into for getting an in-house role. So what was it like for you? So people don't think that precious. You know how people grow over time and people are awestruck, like, oh my God, this guy is good. But then looking back, the story before this guy being very good, there was the struggle, the pain, and also what was your freelance journey like before? And then why did you make the switch?
Okay, so like I said, I started from a content mill. So I think I've seen pretty much of the low end, and then maybe the middle end, maybe the high end is the SaaS company itself, which I have not experienced. But then I think freelancing was good for me, and that was because while I was on Fiverr, I was always getting clients. Yeah, I'm not going to deny that. I did well. Yeah. I did very well on Fiverr, like really, really well. I'm sure if I had sold a course, it would have done very well because of the social proof I would have had then. But so at 2020, I had it was rough.
Okay.
Going into 2020, I wasn't getting clients. So that was when I decided to jump on LinkedIn. And then when I jumped on LinkedIn, it wasn't easy, to be honest.
Okay.
I wouldn't say I had clients. So I mostly leaned on the resources I already had coming from Fiverr. I leaned on all of those cash I had to get. So many months would go by, no clients, months would go by, no clients. So I was just leaning on that resource and just using that as a backup to just, keep posting. It's not always easy when you're posting content and then you're not seeing anything, but you keep posting. So the reason why I actually kept posting was because I knew I had something. I wasn't hungry while posting. That's very important. I wasn't hungry when posting. So I already had the motivation I needed, and I knew that somehow it's going to just work out. So I got an in-house role, but that didn't work out because after 1 month I was let go, and 3 months later that was when I got into foundation. So I'll say freelancing was not the usual roller coaster where you have clients and then you don't have clients later. So that happened to me, but not for so long. So I decided to jump into in-house because of, first of all, I really liked Ross. I really like Ross. I've been following his content and I kind of resonated with him, and I was following him, and then I just saw that he had an open role. I just applied. I just applied because I felt like, okay, what's the big deal? Just get in, see what it is, and if you like it, of course you continue. I think I like it, so for now, I'm still here. Yeah.
I think because I've followed you quite for some time, so I read most of your posts. So there was this time you said that you had applied to foundation the first time and then it didn't work out. Yeah?
Yeah.
And then you reapplied.
Yeah,
so really this actually backs what you say. You just resonated with Ross and the brand and you knew what you were looking for. So it actually leads me to my next question. About the in-house role now. So I think you've answered the A part of the question, which is what were you looking out for in a company when it comes to getting in-house, and what helped you get the role eventually on your second try? Was it that you had more portfolio? What really helped you to land the role, and what should someone look out for in a company if the freelancer is trying to jump into an in-house role?
Okay, so one of the things that helped me get the role was a recommendation. I strongly believe that was what helped me to get the role. So I was recommended unknowingly by someone already in the company, and I think that made things easy for me. I don't think I did anything so much aside from the fact that I had a website at the time. But during the first time I applied, I didn't have a website then, so all of my stuff were just in a local drive. But I don't think those really mattered. But I think the recommendation really helped, in my opinion. Then, of course, I also think the interview too. Like, you have to resonate with the culture of the company. You have to have that growth mindset, and you just have to vibe the way the company or the management of the company is vibing. If you're not at the same frequency with them, you are just not the right person for them. So it's not just about the you know how to do what you do. It's about the fact that you can do what you do, and also you resonate with how we think here. So if you are a good writer but you don't think distribution is important, it will be very hard for you to succeed at foundation, because that is like their core the core thing, the core service they offer to people. Like, we are strong believers of distribution, we believe this thing works. So if you don't believe in it, it's going to be very difficult. So it was something I believed in, and it was very easy for me to vibe in. And when I was going to ask some questions about, okay, how would you distribute this particular piece of content, I gave straight up answers. I would do this, I'll do this, I'll do that. It was just that easy because I vibe with the company. So if people are looking for in-house roles, what I would advise is take a very good look at the company, take a look at the CEO. You want to dig deep into what people are talking about the company on sites like Glassdoor. So you want to go to Glassdoor and you want to search for XYZ company, and then you want to read reviews. Like, read reviews. If people leave as little as one bad review, that's not a good sign. If, for instance, you have, let's say, 4 reviews, and out of the 4 reviews, one person just left a bad review, that is something you can overlook, especially when the review was not, or the review is not in depth, like the person didn't give reasons why they are giving a bad review. But if you are seeing a company where there are multiple poor reviews, that's a bad sign that that's not a place you want to be. Because, like it or not, if you get in, you're going to see some of those things play out. Now, there are scenarios where there are no reviews online. Let's say the brand is a new brand, or not new per se. Let's say the brand hasn't grown to the point where they have lots of employees, and then the employees are leaving reviews on places like Glassdoor. You could reach out personally to some past employees, and you could just ask them, hey, I wanted to apply for, you don't need to tell them that you've applied, because if you've applied already and then you are seeking their opinion, it's already, they won't feel like they should give you the right detail, because they feel like your mind is already there to apply. So what's the point of you asking me about what I think about this company? So you want to ensure that they don't feel like you've applied. So you're like, okay, I'm interested in working at this company, and I saw that you happen to work there for X number of time. I'm wondering, can you give me some heads up on what I can expect from this company in terms of, let's say, how the CEO approached matters, approached issues and stuff like that, like teammates? Can you just give me some background about the company? Is it a good place that you would recommend that I work in? And then full stop. Just allow the person to give you feedback. So once the person gives you feedback, if the feedback is good, of course, you can go ahead to apply. If the feedback isn't good, I think it is safer to just
run.
Yeah, it is safer to just put on your Usain Bolt boots and then just disappear. I mean, there are lots of other companies out there, so you don't need to go to a company where you're always frowning when you want to work.
Yeah.
No one needs to do that. So you want to be 100% okay when doing your job. So I think those are things to look out for if someone wants to go in-house.
Well, great tips there. I really appreciate the points you've mentioned. Yeah, so I'd also like to talk about the whole recommendation, you getting the site. I think that just like you earlier said, sometimes you keep doing the work and it's like nobody's saying, you're posting on LinkedIn, you're posting and nobody's engaging. Really, it may seem like nobody's looking, but someone is actually taking notes. So yes, you may have gotten recommended. I also feel that you knew your stuff. You were good, at least to an extent, for someone to, oh, this guy should be here. So I want, if there's any content marketer watching this right now, I would want you to take that into consideration, that put in the work, know your stuff. And then during the interview, they asked you about distribution and you were able to give answers. So if you don't know your stuff, don't expect, even if you're recommended to a place, truth is you'll be kicked out soon because, well, people employ, it's two ways now. The company is employing you because they want you to contribute to their growth. At the same time, you also want to lay there. Now, that's one of the points that I'd like to point out. Then the next is looking out for the company, like you were explaining. I like to believe that when we go for interviews or when we are considering working for companies or a certain company, it's not just them interviewing you. You're interviewing them as well, or you're looking out for where you would wear your Usain Bolt shoe, like Precious had said, and then run if you can, because if the values don't resonate with you, if the way their culture, nothing, you shouldn't be there. So yeah, these are actually great tips that Precious has mentioned. Also, owning a website, actually, I think, you can correct me, Precious, but I think that owning a website is one step, makes you like one step ahead. You can correct me, you can tell me your opinion, but I think that owning a website, because people already say, okay, you're you're doing something, they just like you said, your works were in different Google Sheets and the rest, but someone just is one click away. Someone clicks and then they can say, okay, this is the lineup, this is what he has done, this is this. It's actually amazing if you can, but if you cannot, there's Medium. There's Medium. I think Medium is free, not even I think, because I use Medium as well. Medium is free. There's Medium, and then your Google Docs. Well, that's fine. The great thing, or the great thing should actually,
There's also you could use portfolio website. There are portfolio website like clippings. There's clippings. I think there's Linktree as well. I don't know if that's the correct spelling, but I know it's link dot something. So you can use this portfolio website to just put your content out there instead of just talk. You said?
There's card.io too, a portfolio.
Okay. Yeah.
So really,
there are several of them.
So please know your stuff. If someone clicks on the Google link, even if you don't have a website, so that this guy knows his stuff, why not? They'll give it a look. So yes, now so the next question is your bylines. So I want to be sure, were you already publishing were you guest blogging already before you got in-house? Because I noticed that even now as a writer for Foundation, you still write for other blogs. Yeah, so if you do, I would want to know what's your approach here. So what's your approach to guest blogging? Do these blogs come to you or you go to them? And either ways, how do you position yourself for guest blogging opportunities?
Okay, so before I got in-house, I wrote a couple of guest posts, not much to be honest. They are just few, like very few, not more than 6, 7. So there are few. I went to these people, they didn't come to me. These are busy people. So they didn't come to me. I went to them and I pitched them. They liked it, and I also have one coming in the pipeline.
Okay.
But the way I approach guest posts is I'm just getting myself out there. Just get yourself out there the more. Aside from the fact that it helps you personally, or it helps me to grow personally, and then people are seeing what I'm doing out there, and then they're like, okay, this is good, this is nice. It's also helping the company I'm working with in terms of a client could just jump on that post and then just see that, okay, this person works at Foundation now, and then from there, who knows, they can just start their journey and probably become a client. So somehow it's going to be helping me as well, as much as it's going to be helping the company I'm working with. And even if I leave Foundation tomorrow, for instance, that post will also help me as well, to position myself out there as an expert. So the way I picture guest blogging is just keep doing it as much as you can. If your client work is too much, you can of course focus on client work, but whenever you have time, you write a couple of guest posts. Yeah, that would really help, because you don't just want to be putting content to your website. You want to be able to put content out there where other editors, different set of editors will see your content and they'll be like, okay, this is good to go. So at that point, you know that you are a step ahead, where you are not just publishing content to your website, because you are the only one who takes a look at the content on your own website. So you don't have any third-party input in that content. So in your mind, that content is good, it's solid. But then when you're sending out content to other websites, and then you're saying that they are making edits, whether it is small, whether it's lots of edits, provided I'm making a couple of edits, then you know that, okay, there's an opportunity for growth here. So you want to, whenever I'm writing a guest post, I want to ensure I'm looking at the content on the website, existing content, and then I'm tailoring the content exactly like the way that content is. So if, for example, you're writing a guest post and you check out the content on the existing website, and you see they have like related posts, and then they put a link to the post. So you want to ensure when you're writing your own posts, you have related posts as well, so that the editor, when they get your work, they don't have any reason to reject that content, because you could write content and then they reject it. They don't have any reason to reject that content because they feel like this person has done the hard work here. This post needs to go live on our website. So once you do all of that, and then the post is good enough, and then the editor doesn't need to spend, let's say, 5 hours on your work, 2 hours. I mean, of course, you get published on this website, no matter how big they are.
Okay, cool. So the pitching now, definitely you're pitching with samples of your work.
Yeah, sure. Yes, that's right.
Just wondering, but before then, before going to this next thought of mine, it's really cool what Ross is doing. It's really cool letting his team members, because I think he likes to call his people who work for him team members and colleagues. So it's cool that he lets his workers or his team members now to do their own stuff, because not all companies talking about company culture and the way us actually thinks. Yeah, so this is cool because, like you said, it's helping both the writer and then the brand. Because we've been in places where it's a problem, like it's a big problem for you to run your own stuff. It's like, are you done with my job? So why would you be doing something else? So thumbs up to Russ and the entire team of Foundation for being themselves and then being go-getters. Yeah, then the next is the time you get to do all of this. I know that for new writers, it may be tasking to actually produce, let's say, 2 content pieces in a week, let alone you who is an in-house writer, and then you're writing for the brand you work with, and you're also guest blogging. So where's the time you get to do all of this? What's your schedule like? Some people say, okay, I work all through the night. And then other people, early mornings are productive for me. But how do you do it? Where's the time? What's your schedule like? Right? Guest blogging, it's crazy.
Okay, like I said, I'm not sure I've written a guest post in a long time.
Really?
So the guest posts I have are probably content I've written long before now. But that aside, I still do one or two clients work. So I think that can still surface when we're talking about guest posts. Like you're doing something different from your normal 9 to 5 job. So I think that can still surface. So the way I do it is, it's not what some other people might like, but I usually work on weekends most times. So that is just my style. It's just how I do it. It's how I like it. So it doesn't take anything from me if I'm doing my stuff on Saturday, if I'm doing it on Sunday. Who cares, right? It's my thing. At the end of the day, it is what I want. So you must put in the work before, it gets hard before it gets easy, right? Like they say. So you have to put in the work if you want to get your name out there. I can't say, okay, because I'm in-house, so everything I'm doing out there to get my name for people to see, and then I just hold on to it, and then I don't do it anymore because I'm in-house, and then maybe I'm thinking, oh, will this benefit me or will this benefit the company? No, at the end of the day, it's benefiting me as well. So I just have to find time to do it. So if it's weekend that works for me, fine. So that's basically how I do it.
Okay, that's cool. So that means the content I saw, you published on keywords, how content writing tips, where you talked about keyword optimization. I think that was on your own personal site also.
Content writing tips. I think that should be on my content writing tips. That should be on my website. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. That's actually good. That's still time you're dividing, but yeah, it's cool. So finally, what are the reasons you would give to a freelancer to get an in-house role? Would it be to get more experience, or to just see how, because the experience is different. For an in-house role, you get to work with a lot of SaaS products, like with different brands. So why would you want you tell a freelancer to get an in-house role?
Okay, I think one of the main reasons why someone should work in-house, at least for some time, is because you get to do a lot of things. Of course, it depends on the company as well. For instance, at Foundation, I get to do different kind of things. It could be a blog post today. It could be, let's say, a LinkedIn post for a brand tomorrow. It could be a tweet. It could be a Twitter thread. It could be an email. It could even be a landing page. So it could be case studies as well. So you get to touch different things, and then you get to be a full marketer, sort of a content marketer, if you want to narrate, where you know that your hands are on different stuff. So you know everything from, you can create both top of the funnel to bottom of the funnel, and even the part of the funnel we're not seeing, the dark one.
Okay.
You want to be able to create all of this content. So that's something that in-house we give you. But when you're working freelance, you don't get that liberty of doing all those kind of stuff, except you want to do it yourself. Yeah, you have your website, then you are nurturing your audience, so you are doing your email, you're creating your tweets and stuff like that. But when you're working in-house, you get to do all of those things, and you do them a lot. So even if you decide to leave tomorrow, or you decide to leave at any time, you're already equipped as an all-round marketer, and you can advise a brand that, okay, you need to do this, and then I can help you do all of them, and then you're charging a very good amount for your rates. So that's one of the reasons why I say do in-house, at least for a while. It really helps. And if the company is also open, where you get to see lots of content strategy. Content strategy is something that is not online. That's the truth. You don't get to see it anywhere. Everything we see on search engine about content strategy, they are all, how do I put it? It's just like they are showing you the surface of the water, but they are not taking you deep inside the water. So that is exactly how content strategy is online. So any post you see about content strategy online, just take it like you are at the surface of the water. Because trust me, when you get deep into the content strategy, you know that everything you're seeing online is just like, they're just joking, right? But when you are working in a company that is open, and then a company is able to, you're able to see some content strategies, everything, then you understand how these people think. You understand how to strategize for a company in terms of their content, or if it covers the whole of their marketing mix, where you're talking about both paid ads, you're talking, you're covering every single thing. So that would also help as well when you're working in-house, but you can't get that as a freelancer, because no one will give you a content strategy and say, take this content strategy.
You can't find it.
The highest you're going to see is take my content strategy course. And that content strategy course is never going to include a real strategy. Maybe the highest you can get is a kind of template. That template will not still show you how to execute the stuff.
Yes.
So those are some reasons why going in-house.
I can attest to that working with Victor Edu Consulting. It wasn't funny. Being on the first strategy project I had to do with him, it was not funny. There were a lot of turn downs, like, this one doesn't make sense. I don't know what you're doing here, but yeah, really what Precious said about getting that experience in-house is really important. So if you're looking to get into an in-house role, you should actually watch this, and also hook up. I think they can connect with you on LinkedIn and Twitter on Precious Oboidhe. Yeah, is that the pronunciation of that name? The second name?
It's okay.
Okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
So yes, I know I had said finally, one last thing. If you were to travel the world through a book, or through books, or through movies, which would it be?
It will be through movies.
Okay. So you're actually in same band with me. Yeah, really. But it doesn't mean we don't do books. It's just that we love movies. Yeah. Thank you very much, Precious. I appreciate you coming here, and I hope we keep in touch. Yeah, do have a lovely, lovely evening. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you.